They get the DC reboot, but they're still letting Matt Reeves do his shit. Now, we also don't know what the contracts look like, what they might have to pay to get out of doing that, if they're willing to let the who fucking knows. But I like the Batman. I'm looking forward to the Batman 2. That movie did do $775 million, something like that. So it did solid. It obviously made money for them. But DC's a fucking mess right now, dude. The Gal Gadot stuff is kind of the final straw for a lot of people in terms of James Gunn's leadership. The fact that now all three members of the DC Trinity that existed before this, you have the Henry Cavill stuff where, remember, Josh from Den of Nerds, but I'm hearing that James Gunn doesn't like Henry Cavill, gets in an argument with him on Twitter, calls him like a basement dweller, and then like a month later fires Henry Cavill. You've got the Ben Affleck stuff where James Gunn said, we love Ben Affleck. We'd have a lot of conversation. We're really looking at him to direct a DC movie for us. And then 2 weeks later, Ben Affleck's like, yeah, I've never talked to anybody about that. I'm certainly not directing a movie in James Gunn's DC universe. And now you have Gal Gadot coming out and saying, hey, I know Patty's gone, but they told us that I sat down with James and Peter Safran, and they said, we love you as Wonder Woman. You're in good hands. We want to do a third Wonder Woman with you. And then Warner Brothers has people leak out later in the day. That's never fucking happening. This was supposed to stop all this stuff. This is supposed to like put new people in charge. Let's change the DC culture of all this misinformation, different people going different ways. And for the last 8-10 months, however long it's been since the announcement, it's just a shit show.
It really is. And I don't have a lot of faith in it. I mean, I do like James Gunn in terms of, like I said, I like all of his Guardians movies. This DC thing just feels like a convoluted mess and a disaster. I guess we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes down to make good movies, and we'll see if he makes good movies. But from a leadership standpoint, it's kind of a disaster. I guess Blue Beetle's going to make like $25 million opening weekend. Something like that.
25 to 30. If it hits 30 and just at 30, it is the worst opening of any DC movie outside of Wonder Woman and The Suicide Squad, which again opened during COVID and also released on HBO Max same day.
As far as the Batman, I'm not as high on the Batman as you. I didn't hate it. But it's meh.
I don't want to see a fucking Penguin series. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
If they're still doing that for Max, but in terms of the Batman 2, I want to see that.